with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station KCAA, home to Asian Oprah and the special series Fired Up Fridays with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Caughie
here on KCAA AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, Podchaser, JioSaavn, Rumble, and more. And I'm so delighted that you're here. This is a show about hope and happiness. So if you're hoping to hear about K words like Kardashians or Kanye, then tune it somewhere else nicely, because I do not talk about people and things that really don't matter to you, because time is one of those things you don't get it back. You can't do a do-over. And I want you to be happy 88% of the time, focusing on your own reality show and how you can do that. So I have topics and guests, and just a shout out next week, two incredibly special guests. One is Michael Bernard Beckwith, the founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, also known as my big brother, the one to blame for my honorable moniker, Asian Oprah. He introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. And then Lucy Arnaz, the daughter of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. I'm so excited. They'll be on next week and the following week. KLOS lovers of Mark and Brian, the duo that was on the air for 27 years or maybe more, inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. Mark, the first half, is going to be on my show. I'm so grateful. I love seeing eyeballs rolling in. If you're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, or the central hub of YouTube, you get to put whatever you'd like on the chat. And if it's not R-rated, I will put it on the screen and you get to interact with my beautiful co-host. And today it is a special topic. You'll know why I did that. It's called priorities, and we'll be talking about that. But first, as y'all know, we start with breakfast together. Cynthia, I never made you learn that whole opening about where we are. So after, there's going to be a time. So over the well, I won't give it away. Anyways, why do we have a bite of our gratitude sandwich for breakfast every morning? Why?
Are you asking me why?
Yeah.
Because we need to start the day focusing on the good, right? Always thinking about what we can do. I'm a big proponent of that. And one of my gratitudes this morning is this is crazy to me. I am grateful, and I say this a lot, I'm grateful for my patients. I'm very grateful for actually, that's an appreciation, right? Darn it.
It's okay. It's okay. You
But
still got the rest of the hour.
Either way, appreciation or gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for beautiful flowers. I have roses. And they smell delicious. Yes.
I love the smell of roses.
It brightens up my space. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure. I am grateful for YouTube videos that you can basically learn anything and everything to do, or I've been doing some, help my back exercises or flatter tummy and better arms. So I'm grateful for YouTube.
Well, some information out there. I am grateful for books.
Favorite book?
Favorite? Probably right now. I have two, but I'm going to go with Sharon Lecter's Think and Grow Rich for Women. Gave me a lot of good tools.
Great. Lovely person. Shout out to Sharon Lecter.
Yes.
I have to have her. We haven't been able to coordinate schedules, But I am grateful for living in Southern California. Love it, love it, love it.
I am grateful for mentors. I am super grateful for mentors who take the time to give and teach us, yes, we can.
And who would one of those be? So we're doing specific names.
Well, my very first mentor was Grant Cardone, but Sharon Lecter and I are, we're connected in some way. We are very, I spent a lot of time with her last year, and
Oh, good.
she's a great mentor. I
Good.
just started Success or something like it from her and Greg.
Fantastic. I didn't know she was working with Greg, but anyways, I am grateful. I'll go with some of my mentors, Michael Bernard Beckwith, I mentioned before, also Esther Hicks, Law of Attraction, and let's see, Don Miguel Ruiz. I love Don's way of explaining things. If you haven't read the Four Agreements, it's a classic book. All right, last one.
It's actually,
sorry.
It's okay. It's actually on my wall. I have the Four Agreements on my wall.
That's so cool.
That's so cool. Actually, I'm grateful for the Four Agreements. One of them is don't take anything personally. It's a hard one to do sometimes, so it's a really good reminder. Too.
That's awesome. I actually adapted his Four Agreements into my balanced parenting. So I have a Four Agreements for kids when they're young. Yeah. I am grateful that when I met Don Miguel, and I was just so in love with his words, and he had just come back from a heart surgery, and he came to Agape, and I was so I just love him, and he looked at me and cut my face, and we just became instantaneous, connection. And so I told my big brother that is he single? Because I wanted to, and he's like, he just had heart surgery. You'll kill him.
Oh.
Because I'm so not intense at all.
Right. Right.
So that's a little inside funny story. All right. Down to the bottom of the bun. So we did the top of the bun, which is first thing in the morning, gratitudes, 8. We did 4 between the two of us. If you want to put yours in the chat, we'll put it up. And then we go to the bottom of the bun, which is appreciations, which my lovely co-host did start already, because it's so important to self-love. It's my BS, my belief system, that the dis-ease in life stems from the dis-ease with yourself. And when you can get to a point where you don't think you're hot shiitake, but you're not a piece of shiitake, you're just pretty darn good shiitake, and get to that 88% fabulous, then life really opens up, because then you're not looking for love in all the wrong places. So that's why we do appreciations. I will start with, I am not patient. I don't even have that word in my vocabulary that you said, but I am, I give people, what is that? Magnanimous. I give people the benefit of the doubt most of the time. Like if I see something I don't like, I try to go to, they're just having a bad day. So that's my appreciation.
Well, yes, I did start with, I appreciate my patience. I appreciate my sense of seeking. Like I'm always looking for information. I'm always seeking something. A lot of people are just okay with the way things are, but I seek answers. Now, I don't take what's given always.
I know. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I just think it's important not to. I actually think it's a way of life.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I appreciate that I am, I have learned how to be more mindful. So I would say that I have mindfulness. If you just looked at my Instagram this morning, Doc Balance, you'll see that I was one with my sushi last night. And it's really something that I'm so grateful. I appreciate so much that I know how to be in the moment when I'm enjoying my food. Because oftentimes we just, especially busy women who do too much kind of stuff, and we miss out. So I say, take time to smell the roses and taste your sushi.
I like that. I appreciate the fact that I am getting more mature.
Are you adulting, Cynthia?
I'm adulting.
Way overrated.
Reluctantly at times. That's where the patience kicks in.
Fingers on the check. And they're ergo never an adult for me. Last one, I appreciate that I have a discipline that has now led to a 30-pound weight loss since Valentine's Day. So I really appreciate that I know how to do things, a gospel according to Nike, just do it even when you don't feel like it. And it pays off.
That's right.
Pays off.
That's right. You want me to finish? I appreciate, man, I just had one and it left me. I appreciate that I can give myself self-care. It's hard to do sometimes, and a lot of people don't do it. And I appreciate the fact that I'm learning. That's part of the adulting, maturing.
Yes, it is. Yes. And there you go. Thank you for having breakfast with us with taking a bite of our gratitude sandwich. And today's topic, I'm going to let you introduce it if you're just tuning in. This is Fired Up Fridays with Dr. Marissa and co-host
Cynthia Caughie.
And what's the topic today, Cynthia?
Well, it's kind of funny, apropos timing and all. I think priorities are difficult for people. And so at times in your life, you have to make decisions. And the way we make decisions is on our priorities. Priorities, when you think about them, it kind of coincides with the word commitment for me. It's like there's a level of commitment. There's a level of priority, right? What priority is my family? What priority is my career? What priority am I giving myself? So all of those to me come down to, now if you flip the word and you give it something different, like commitment, right? Like I said, we give it levels. How committed are you? What is your number one priority? Well, if you call it a necessity, then what are we really talking about? Because necessity is something you have to have, right? So if you grade your priorities as a necessity, then you can determine which ones take top billing, right? Because you have multiple priorities. You don't just have one. Like I just said, I'm a mom, I have a restaurant, and then I have to take care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, then I can't do priority number one and priority number two, right? So which one's really priority number one?
So to piggyback on that, you talked about being a mom. That's a role, right? Mm-hmm. A business owner, that's a role. Let's just go through, and I'm going to do the same, just so we qualify to you what women who are, recovering overachievers and think that they can have it all. And so that's another subtopic we can talk about today. Can you really have it all when you have so many things going on? And then how to tool yourself up, as we like to do on this show, and talk about solution. If you're having overwhelm, how do you actually prioritize when everything is important? And as an organizational psychologist, when I go in businesses, that's the number one issue, is that every priority is a red priority. Well, you can't live under that kind of pressure, 8 hours a day and survive and have any semblance of balance and joy and peace, right? So let's go back and forth to make this fun. You're a mom of 3 girls that are 14. Did I get that right?
Close. Well, I have a 14-year-old. 17 is my oldest. 14 is the middle, and 12.
Okay. And I have 25 and 23. And yours are in the house. Mine are out of the house up in San Francisco. They're coming for the holidays. I forgot to put that in the gratitude. So I'm a little less intense than you are as far as child, having to care for. So you're full time. They live with you. So that's a big priority, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And then you have a restaurant.
Yes.
And you, it's open from what time to what time?
Well, it varies, but it's pretty much all day. It's 11:30 till 8.
Okay.
Some days we open at 3, but it's definitely a big priority. I mean, I'm also doing the writing, and I'm also doing the coaching, and I'm also, I'm also.
Let me do two. We're going back and forth. Okay. Yeah. So I'm doing the motivational speaking back again. Thank goodness. A post-pandemic, and I also do consulting, and I go in and do executive coaching, team building, and all that as an organizational psychologist. Okay. So that's 4 for each of us.
I am bringing the product to market.
Okay, new product, the knuckleball, and we'll play this commercial in a bit. I am hosting and producing this show. Okay, so that's every forking weekday morning at 8 in the morning. Guests, co-hosts, marketing, PR, rendering, editing, the whole kabuna. Okay. That's 5 each. And then?
I'm working on my consistency journal, which is coming out. Mm-hmm.
I have a best-selling book that I go and promote and speak about. Okay, that's 6.
Shoot, I speak too.
Yeah.
About my book.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's 6 each. Go.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you have on your bucket. You're a co-host.
I'm a co-host.
Okay, 7. I am. I work and maintain a website and a YouTube channel and a very healthy social media. And I actually am a product. What do they call it? A digital creator and I work for Meta, freelance for that. Okay, go.
Wow.
Yep.
Very complicated.
Yes.
I do all of my PR and everything right now for the restaurant, myself, everything.
Yep. And I do on-site, on location, Dr. Marissa reporting live for a New York news agency, freelance. Okay.
I run a Facebook group, Affirmations and Positive Mindset, with about 300 people.
Good. I am doing long distance caretaking for my mom, my Chinese mom in Toronto, and they just had like this crazy emergency, and so I had to take care of that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we're at 10 each.
I'm good with 10.
Okay. And then I a singer-songwriter, and I do perform, and I'll be on stage on Sunday celebrating Agape's 36th anniversary. So that's a little special for that. So yay!
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome, and I'm great at the Saban Theater. So okay, so that's at least I know we're forgetting stuff. So let's just say we have 10 to 12 priorities. So I am reminded of something that I learned a couple years ago, because I've always said you can do more than one thing. That's been my, you don't have to limit yourself to one thing. Now, I've been told that is actually, the jack of all trades, master of none. And I chafe at that all the time. However, there is some truth, or you do have to consider. And that person told me, have you ever tried to chase one rabbit? Okay, yeah, I've had a rabbit before. Her name was Princess, and she pooped all over the house and my yarn. But a little resentment. And then, have you ever chased two rabbits? Okay, yeah, she had a buddy, and it was fun, and you sort of go back and forth. And have you ever tried to chase however many things you're doing right now? And I'm like, okay, that's 10. We just qualified for, I did a dozen. So picture trying to, catch 12 rabbits running in every different direction. And that, coupled with the fact that we truly do not multitask, we serial task. And every time we are every time we focus on something else, it takes us 2 minutes to get back to the thing that we were originally focused on, to that level of intensity. So it does beg to challenge my BS, my belief system, that you can do many things. So I get to that point where you are, where I do have to set priorities. I do have to say, okay, when push comes to shove, what's going to fall through the cracks? Am I okay with that falling through the cracks? Am I okay with that being, not perfect? Because I'm also a recovering control freak, and I want each one of these 12 things to be perfect. And it's not possible. So when I say I can do all of these things 88% of the time fabulously, then I'm okay.
Well, I have a little bit of a different take on it.
Shocker. Shocker. Now you know why we're called Fired Up Fridays.
Well, I'm not okay with letting something fall through the cracks. So I have learned to prioritize, and the way I do that is seeing on my priority level what that looks like, right? So somebody gave me the analogy a long time ago of a plate. I get to put what is on my plate. Anything else is busy work, right? If something's thrown at me, something, comes up unexpectedly, it's busy work. So I want to set the intention. My intention is to fulfill each task. So I learned something, and this is very, very helpful. Instead of multitasking, which my desk is a mess often, I'm going to just be totally transparent. My desk is, again, messy often. But when instead of multitasking and doing something 5 seconds here and then picking something up over here for 5 minutes and then starting and stopping and starting and stopping, if you monotask and you just do the one, and you set your timer and you say, I'm going to do it for 45 minutes, because that's technically the attention span that you have. Like on the regular, most people have an attention span of about 45 minutes, and then they have to get up and move around or do something in order to refocus. So Brendon Burchard does that. And that was one of the people that I learned that from. So to monotask, just sit there and take it. So I use a planner. I actually use a planner every day, and I'm working on one that's actually guided. And so it helps you become self-aware so that you know what your habits are, so that you can be more consistent. So if I know that my attention span is only 45 minutes, don't try to set don't try to set myself up for sitting down at my desk for 3 hours trying to finish a task, because I know I'm not going to get it done. So if I prioritize and I have 5 things on my list right now that I can see that I need to do, and for me, I'll give away. So that's the trick, right? Of mono, instead of multitasking, monotasking, right? You take the one. But one of my things that happens is I end up getting distracted. So what space are you in? Are you being distracted? Do you have that workspace that says, I can do it right here? I can actually sit down and get it done, setting myself up for success, right? I know how I work best. I know where I should be. I know the restaurant. very distracting for me. I want to say hi to everybody. I'm a social butterfly, and I can't really sit and get anything done. So a lot of times I need to come home, sit and focus and do XYZ because I know that that's the way I work best.
Mm-hmm.
So when you prioritize, that's another priority. How do you get it done? Prioritize your space, prioritize what it looks like in order for you to get that done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great point. I am kind of chuckling though, because one of the marketing statistics they put out there is that the average American, and I don't know if they said the young person or whatever, I'm guessing they're talking about the millennials, have an attention span of 6 seconds, and goldfish have an attention span of 7 seconds.
I think it's less.
So you think it's less now?
Yeah,
but when you're saying 45 minutes, it's like, wow, that's a way lot more than 6 or 7 seconds. But I think you're talking about a concentrated, focused task, and that totally makes sense. Yes. And that reminds me of a solution for people who have many things and they are easily distracted. Squirrel. Is called 15 minutes at a time. So I remember learning this when I was doing my dissertation for my doctorate, and a dissertation is a giant, elephant. And it's like taking a bite of an elephant one bite at a time. I don't know who came up with that, but who would want to eat an elephant anyways? But I digress. 15 minutes at a time, I can manage and just sit down. And that's how I wrote the book. I just, I have to write, now that I have a contract, I actually have to write the book. And good morning, Ote Aku on Instagram. I don't know if you want to come on, I can have you join, but there's 15 minutes at a time allows you to sit down and actually start. And what happens is it usually turns into 45 because you get into it. But if you think this is the prescription for anybody who has this to say about getting things done, they say, you know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to clear out all of next week. I'm going to take time away from everything. And next week, I'm going to write. I'm going to create. I'm going to clean. I'm going to, whatever the task, the giant task is, I'm going to do it all next week. Then the first day, you're like, and I'll start tomorrow. The next day, I don't feel it. So that doesn't work, right? Because then the whole week goes by and you just wasted a week and you get anything done. So instead of saying that, the tool is 15 minutes at a time. And you can do that anytime, anywhere, for whatever. The other thing I wanted to comment on, I used to be very stickler about things to do. My things to do list was literally like this, a whole page long. And what happened was I was never satisfied. I was never able to go, yay, I got it done, because all the rest of the ones that were unchecked were staring me down and making me extremely anxious. So I actually stopped doing that and just went to the other extreme of, you know what, I'm going to know what to do when, and rely on some, power out there to guide me. And for the most part, it worked. Now, the consequence was some things did fall through the cracks. Like I forgot, because I may have a photographic memory, but I'm out of disk space. So that was it. So now I'm in the middle. When there's something I know I need to do, I do write it down so I won't forget. The other one last thing, and I'll let you talk. Before I forget it, the other thing about inspired action is I've also learned from Abraham Hicks that when I get the impulse to do something or call somebody or write something, I just do it. I don't put it on my to-do. I don't do this later. That's just do it now, because that's not my idea. It came to me. That was an idea that was inspired outside of me. And so then I do that right away.
Well, I mean, what I have learned, and that's a great tip, just do it right then, because you're going to forget. If you add it to the to-do list, then you're going to have to pick it up again, right? You're creating more work than you're actually doing. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
I just thought about something, and I do this often. So I came up with a reflection journal. Part of becoming self-aware is knowing yourself, right? So what you have to do is you have to reflect. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing well? What am I not doing well? And how can I improve? You're grading yourself in a way that's constructive. You're holding yourself accountable. So if you have priorities, if you have a to-do list and you're thinking, well, I'm not getting this done. Well, why am I not getting it done? Then that's when you go through the reflection process and you say, what am I doing well? What am I really spending my time on? Am I using my calendar efficiently? Am I using my to-do list efficiently? Am I actually checking things off that to-do list? Then you say, what am I not doing well? Well, why am I not doing it? Is my space too busy? Am I too busy? Is the TV on? Am I distracted? Am I at the restaurant? Why am I not doing it well? And then you evaluate those two and you say, how can I improve? Well, I can set aside 45 minutes to get this particular task done because it is number one priority. If you don't hold yourself accountable and you are not going back, and I hate to say grading, but you're grading yourself. You're asking yourself, how well of a job did I do? Did I do what I was supposed to do? Am I getting what I wanted to get done? Am I doing it in a way that I am happy about it? Is it something that fulfills me? All of those questions are amazing reflection points. And that's how you get to the realization and the self-awareness of your habits. Are your habits keeping you from your priorities, from your goals, from anything that you are wanting to accomplish? How are you spending your time as a priority? Because time, like we all know, you can't get it back. Once you spend it, are you spending it the way you want to? The priorities in which you are setting, are they something that are a necessity, or is it just busy? Is it just busy work, right? If you're not getting to the place that you want to in life, you have to evaluate, you have to reflect. And that brings me to the point where we are today, right?
Yes.
It's the process.
Yes. So
Do you do that, Dr. Marissa?
I'm sorry?
Do you do that? Do you reflect?
Oh, yeah. Every day.
So I'm just curious, I'm curious, what's your process when you do? I mean, do you just ask yourself, what did I do well today? Or do you actually have a reflection process?
Yeah. Like when I complete something, I stop and I say, good job, mama.
Okay.
I do, it's like a daily, inventory, I guess it would be called, where I ask myself, have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have? So that is the question that I use to help me reflect, right? And I usually, sure. Have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources that I have?
I like that. That's very good.
Yeah. And I say that because I am a recovering perfectionist. Hello, David. Yeah, I don't know when he did this comment and which book he was talking about, but I'm sure it was good. So nice to have you. I have a tendency, if I do what you're talking about and do like a self-awareness, self-reflection, in the past, it was never a good thing because I was so hard on myself. Like I couldn't watch my shows because I'd be so critical of everything that I had done. I couldn't really have a balanced look at what my performance was because it was always bad. And it was partially because growing up with a mom who said, A+ is, you don't have to do an A+ anymore. Just an A is fine. So that was the expectation. So perfection was the way I got loved. And so I had picked up the habit of being very, very hard on myself. So when you say, do I self-reflect? Only until I could have a balanced understanding of myself, as we started with the self-love, could I self-reflect. Otherwise, I was never good enough. No matter what I did, I would pick out, 99 compliments. I would pick out the one criticism. So that's what led to that statement. Have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have? Because most of the coaching clients in my executive coaching practice in organizations are like me, so hard on themselves. They just can never feel good enough with all the things that they have accomplished. So I know you're all about self-awareness, and I absolutely understand and support that, but I'm balancing that out with, if you're a person who's so critical, if you play tennis, you're saying sorry all the time. That's my best example. Then the balance is quit being so hard on yourself, as hard as yourself. And when you're looking at, where you could do better, please balance that out with, what have I done better and what is good about me? So I think that's my reaction. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. But when somebody just says, shoot, I forgot what you just said, do better, or
can I
what were the words where you just said? The specific one where you said,
have I done the best that I can?
No, when you realized what you were doing and you said, don't do that.
Oh, hard on yourself. When you're hard on
being hard on yourself. That's
yes.
right. How do you just stop being hard on yourself? That was where I was going. Sorry.
Okay.
Because you can't, that's like saying, I don't know, stop smoking, right? You can't just stop smoking, right?
Right.
So it's a learned habit. So the self-awareness part for me comes from asking yourself those hard questions. Now, a lot of times people don't do it because they don't know how to do it, because their conditioning just automatically tells them the answer. They have to want to seek it. They have to want to be better. They have to want to learn and evolve and grow. If they just accept the fact of who they are, and this is who I'll always be, and this is why I am, then that is who they'll be. They have to seek it. And part of that thing for me is they really have to want to learn. And most of the time, it comes down to love, whether it's loving themselves and they realize that they're not loving themselves, or there's a partner or somebody else that gives them the inclination that they're not loving themselves and it's restricting them from loving the other person.
Really good point.
In some way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a process.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not a light switch. And
Right.
I keep going round and round and round. I see it as an upward swirl. It's still going up, unlimited possibilities, right?
That's right.
That's what the fired up stands for. But it is, you're right. It's not an overnight, but it is a balancing act.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
For sure. So the announcement that and the reason why we're talking about priorities, and that's also why I didn't want to take it personally. So that's why we went through the exercise that we did around the real competing. Sometimes you only have 24 hours in a day. How do you attain perfection at the 12 things that you're doing? You cannot. So there is a balancing act and there is setting priorities. So
you're gonna make me say it?
Yeah. I'm making you say it.
I evaluated, right? Priorities. What am I doing well? What am I not doing well? And how can I improve? Well, spreading my time very thin, right? Honestly, I'll just be completely transparent, has started to take a little wear on me. So I had to prioritize my time and what it needs to be focused on. And the restaurant right now and the knuckleball is the number one priority work-wise as to attain my goals. So as much as I love having our conversations, Dr. Marissa, and being on Fired Up Friday, I will be taking a little hiatus. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that, because when I came to Dr. Marissa, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue. And she gave me options, and that was very nice because she didn't have to do that. And I appreciate that. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. So I will be on hiatus until January. Going to give it a little rest. Holidays are coming up, family time, all of the good things. And again, I've enjoyed doing the show. I enjoy our banter back and forth. And of course, our differences of opinion. So, right. Oh,
this is the attention span, less than 5 seconds. So
yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Jean.
Did I knew it was
a lot less than 40. So I'm glad you're both here. I'm glad you're both here to bid my fabulous co-host a happy hiatus. And like she said at the beginning of the show, agreement number 1 from Don Miguel's book, The 4 Agreements. Don't take it personally. I'm not taking it personally, or I'm trying not to. No, I'm kidding. I'm not taking it personally that she is practicing what she teaches. That's why we're doing this topic of priorities, that sometimes things shift and you really have to evaluate what you can do. I had a second show on Unity Radio. And I had to get, even though I had a great shows, great following. I loved doing it. It was a call-in show. It was fabulous. And I couldn't keep up the schedule. Same with my Tai Chi classes. Every week it was, great, on the bluff, and lots of students. And I had to give that up because I was going on tour for the book. So here's my, first of all, I want to be very clear and appreciate the fact that we've been going since August 5th, every single Friday for Fired Up Fridays. And it has been truly a lot of fun. She has taught me that she's living proof. She busted my BS. She called me on my BS belief system that in order to have a good co-host, they had to be like-minded, love-hearted, which is true, but not that like-minded. So I have learned the easy way, somewhat easy, that I can have a co-host and we can absolutely disagree in a loving way and still maintain our own BS, our own belief systems, and expand the minds of the listeners and watchers in a way that I didn't see until I had you as a co-host. And so for that, thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say that, one of the reasons why I really appreciate the opportunity is because it gives us a voice, and it really gives us the opportunity to share with other people the leadership, because anybody can do it. Yes, you can. That's my biggest statement always is, yes, you can. A lot of people think that they can't, but it's just learning how to do it. You have all of the tools that you need inside of you. And if you say that you can't, I will give you 10 reasons why you can. I'll show you 10 reasons how you can do it. Because for you and I to do this, and really, we didn't even know each other. I mean, we met months before, but we'd only had 2, maybe 3 interactions. And I was blessed. And you asked me if I wanted to co-host. And I said, what a great opportunity. It's one of those things where, just like you say, putting the elephant in the room, you know what I mean? Or on the table. And you just do that. Because then, you either learn to live with it, which some people do, or you work around it. Right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's moose on the table, elephant in the room, by the way. It's not elephant on the table. I just had this visual of an elephant on the table, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, it's totally, it's been wonderful, and I love it. And her book, You Can Do Hard Things, is available everywhere. Her journal, go get it. You can help with her money energy to support what she does, and also here, this is coming soon to a store near you. That is coming to a store near you, and I'm just so excited for you. This is her first time bringing a product to market. She's learning a lot. Yes. And
Yes.
it looks really yummy. And when I get up to see my daughters, they're coming down for Thanksgiving. But whenever next time I go up, I'm going to have a knuckleball.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you.
I know it will be
Squeeze.
so fun. It will be so fun. And
Yes.
so hopefully you've learned some things. Of course, this was supposed to be at 8:30. It's now 8:52 because as usual, neither one of us have anything to say. And we just go right back the station break. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who's in the studio, this is Fired Up Friday with Dr. Marissa and Cynthia Caughie, her last show before she goes on hiatus. And we wish you the very best as you celebrate. She'll be back in the new year. But if you'd like to be a co-host with me, it is an opportunity. There's an opening now because Cynthia's going on hiatus. Please do contact me at drmarissa.life or book a little chat at drmarissa1@youcanbookme.com, and we'll talk about it. And like she said, I think that everybody should, one, write a book, and two, start a show or a podcast, because that, if that's something that excites you, because it is true. I mean, I don't know if everybody can do it, but many people can do it, because for some people this is like truly uncomfortable, and I don't want you to be live your life doing uncomfortable things. But if it's something that you've always wanted to do, then absolutely give it a try, because I think I can speak for both of us. Life is a joyride. And if you do not take this ride, you can't get back on. It's one of those things that, once that day goes by, once that valley, it's not, you can't go back to that same valley. It'll be a different valley, but there's no do-overs in a day. I can't go back to yesterday and say, I want to do that over. So every single day is a precious opportunity to take this joyride called life and have the best time ever. So that's my little commercial. And if you're not feeling like how to do that, you have a beautiful coach right here, Cynthia Caughie. You have another beautiful coach here, Dr. Marissa. There's a ton of coaches out side of us. There's no one best way in my mind to grow and expand and juice your life. There's so many coaches out there. Find the one that you resonate with. Find the one that you feel the best with. And you don't try to fix your own car. You take it to a mechanic. That's what coaches are. They're people who have, gone through stuff and learned things that they want to help you get to that same place. My specialty is anyone who's had childhood trauma, and that's 7 out of 10 of us. that think that we're not good enough and we'll never be good enough. And that's bullshit hockey. We can have an amazing life. And I am proof of that. David, thank you. That's fantastic, ladies. Congratulations, hardworking ladies. Thank you. And thank you, David. I will miss you. I invite you, even though you're one of Cynthia's fans, I invite you to stay here and keep it tuned to this show, especially next week with Lucio Ball's daughter and Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Your final word?
Well, I always like to say, if you've got the want to, you will find the how to. So seek new information. If you need somebody to have the hard conversations with, that's my specialty. They call me the CEO, the Chief Encouragement Officer. Here's my tag. You need a kick in the beep, I'll give it to you. Because encouragement can come in many different ways. And sometimes we're not just stuck, we've just lost perspective. And you need to have that hard conversation to figure out what that is. And that is my specialty. I am an accountability coach partner that will help you get unstuck.
Great.
You can find everything on what I do and all of my books and the coaching, all of it, CynthiaCaughie.com.
CynthiaCaughie.com. You can put that on your name there, so people will find you. But I think it's really easy. She's very active as well on TikTok and Instagram, as I am as well. Now, my final word is, if you make a decision on your priority, the worst, it's like all the choices you have in life are like doorways. The worst thing you can do is go through a door, turn around and regret or look at what would have happened if I'd gone those. It doesn't matter. You chose one. Now go full forth, and there's another set of doors. When that happens, then you can celebrate where you're going instead of always looking behind you in the rearview mirror. And that's how you get FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So that's my final word for today's very special and kind of sad, but practicing what we teach priorities. Hopefully you've learned a couple of tips today. I know we all joined together to wish Cynthia a happy hiatus.
Thank you.
I didn't know there was such a thing. I just made that up. I like that. Happy hiatus. And again, you can find her at CynthiaCaughie.com. You see her name here on the spelling. You can find me at drmarissa.life. Did you want to give away a book? I never asked you for an Asian Oprah giveaway. So for your happy hiatus, I think that would be appropriate. I'm giving one of mine. Download of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. The first person to go to drmarissa.life and put in hiatus will get a free download copy of this book. It's $20 and I actually narrate it. And Cynthia,
yes,
you want to give one away?
Yeah, you can DM me at Cynthia Caughie, Caughie. And if you DM me, Dr. Marissa, I will send you a free copy of my book.
Fantastic. So we're out of time. This is it's all about balance.
That's
Peace
right.
in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you so much for tuning into Fired Up Fridays with Dr. Marissa and
Cynthia Caughie.
We'll see you next week. Now go and have the best weekend ever.